And good morning, everyone. I'm absolutely honored to be here with such an extraordinary group of companies and of leaders. And my message is on trust and inspire, how truly great leaders unleash greatness in others. As Dave mentioned, it's based upon this new book, my follow-on to the Speed of Trust, that's just out. I'm really excited about it because I think it's relevant for our time. And if I could connect this to what we do here at Tugboat Institute and you as evergreen companies, I believe that trust and inspire is the style of leadership that is relevant for evergreen companies and evergreen leaders. I think this is trying to describe and give a framework and a language and a process for the kind of leadership that you exhibit. So today is all about getting better at this kind of leadership in our world. And the basic premise is that things have changed all around us. I'm going to give you a metaphor. This is Death Valley, California. It's considered the hottest place on earth, has the world's highest recorded temperature, 134 degrees. It not only is hot at Death Valley, it's dry. The average rainfall in a year is 1 inch. There was a 40-month period in which only half an inch of rain fell. So it's hot, it's dry. As a result, nothing grows there. It's probably why they call it Death Valley. Interestingly, in the winter of 2005, for some unexplained reason, 6 inches of rain fell in just a very brief period. Sure enough, a short time later, here's what Death Valley looked like. Wildflowers popped up and carpeted the entire valley. It turns out it wasn't dead after all. It was just dormant. As the late, great Sir Kenneth Robinson said, maybe we shouldn't call it Death Valley, but instead, Dormant Valley. It's not quite as catchy, but it's a lot more accurate. Now, if you think about it, people are a lot like this. The potential for growth, for greatness, is there. It may be lying dormant. It may not be seen, but it's there. Our job as leaders is more like a gardener than it is a mechanic. We're gardeners creating conditions for the seeds to flourish, for the people to grow, versus mechanics trying to fix people. As leaders, we are gardeners. I'll come back to this metaphor as we move along. But the basic premise is that the world has changed all around us, and yet the traditional style of leadership has not, or at least it's not kept pace with this changing world. Now, I think what you're doing here at Tugboat is a new way of leading that I'm going to try to name and describe. Now, the interesting thing about this is that you look at the change that's hit us. It's everywhere. We know this. Technology, disruption, the pace of change, the amount of change, but also how work is done. It's more collaborative, more team-based, interdependent. The nature of the workplace has changed, where suddenly you can work from home, work from everywhere, anywhere, remote work, hybrid work. But the nature of the workforce has changed. We have as many as 5 generations at work with completely different expectations of how they want to be engaged and led, especially the younger generations. Millennials, Gen Z. But also people have choices and options today they didn't have before. So all these changes puts a great premium on the need for each of us to really build a high-trust culture that inspires, so we can attract the best people and bring out the best in people, but also so that we can collaborate and innovate to stay relevant in this changing world. The old way of leading, the traditional way of leading, won't achieve those outcomes. I call the old way of leading command and control. And we become better at it. It's a more enlightened command and control. But it's not going to create the high-trust culture that inspires. And it's not going to create the collaboration and innovation that's needed to stay relevant. We need a new way to lead in a new world. I believe this new way is trust and inspire. So what is trust and inspire? Let me describe it in contrast to command and control. So in command and control, the idea is that you manage people and things. With trust and inspire, I manage things, but I lead people. See, we need good management of things, of systems, of structures, of processes, of the business, of the numbers. We manage things, but we lead people. What I've learned is this, is that people don't want to be managed. People do want to be led. They want to be trusted. They want to be inspired. So it's not either or, it's and. Manage things, lead people. Trust and inspire, command and control. The idea is I get results through people. That sounds good, but push it to the extreme. People are just a means to an end. In trust and inspire, I get results in a way that grows people. People are not just a means, they are an end in and of themselves. People first. One of your 7 Ps. Command and control, I'm a machinist. It's a mechanistic view of the world. I'm fixing things and people. Trust and inspire, I'm a gardener. I'm creating conditions for the people to grow and to flourish. Command and control, I have a fixed mindset towards others, so I try to contain and control them. Trust and inspire, I operate with a growth mindset towards everyone. So I'm trying to release and unleash the capability, the potential, the talent that's inside of them. Command and control, I operate on the premise of motivation. It's external, extrinsic, outside of us. So it's heavy carrot and stick motivation. Nothing wrong with it per se. Do rewards work? Sure, they motivate people to want to get more rewards. But trust and inspire, I operate on the premise of inspiration. It's internal, it's intrinsic, it's inside of people. I'm trying to light the fire within. That fire, once lit, can burn on for months, if not years, without the need for constant new external stimuli. To inspire comes from the Latin term inspirare. It means to breathe life into. You breathe life into relationships, into teams, into cultures, whereas command and control tends to suck the life out of. Now look at the progress that we've made through the years. We started with the authoritarian command and control. That's scientific management, Frederick Winslow Taylor. That was useful, but we became efficient. But we then said we got to focus more on people, so we added to it strengths and emotional intelligence and mission and a lot of positive things, including trustworthiness. But we didn't shift the paradigm. So it became, for most, just an enlightened form of command and control, a better version of it, far better. But we need to really cross the chasm, take that leap into trust and inspire, different in kind, not just in degree. See, authoritarian command and control operates on the premise of fear, what I can do to you. Enlightened command and control operates on the premise of fairness and transactional exchange, what I can do for you. But trust and inspire operates on the premise of inspiration, of partnership, what I can do with you. Now, this is the leap we need to make. I believe the people in this room have made this leap. It's about getting better at this now and having this become the dominant culture and the way that our entire organization leads. So how do we get good at this? Well, first we look for models of it. There's a lot of models right here. We've heard some this morning. Here's another model of this. This is Colleen Wegman. I just was with her 2 months ago. CEO of Wegmans Food Markets, operates in the Northeast, grocery store, $11 billion in revenue. She's a trust and inspire leader in every way. They build a trust and inspire culture. They are on the top 100 best companies to work for. They're in the top 5. They've been on this list every year since this came out 25 years ago. But interestingly, they're also on the top 5 of the Reputation Quotient Index companies, which is really trust with the marketplace. The first being trust with your own people. See, she is winning in the workplace with her own people, and she is winning in the marketplace with customers and partners. The reputation, the brand. I believe the sequence matters. I believe the reason she wins in the marketplace with customers is because she first wins in the workplace with her own people. She's a model of this. That's the idea. So friends, let me talk about how we increasingly become trust and inspire, how we become better at this. It starts with our paradigm, the way that we view people, the way that we view leadership. And I'm going to give you 5 fundamental beliefs of a trust and inspire leader that collectively form the paradigm for how I view people, how I view leadership. Let me describe these quickly. Be thinking about it because I'm going to have you pick one to work on from these 5 to get even better at. First, I believe that people have greatness inside of them. I see the potential of the greatness, even if it's dormant. So my job as a leader is to unleash their potential, not control them. Treat people according to their potential, not just their behavior. Second belief, I believe that people are whole people, meaning body, heart, mind, spirit, and they bring their whole self to work. So if I buy that belief, my job as a leader is to inspire, not merely motivate. Now, if people were only economic beings, just a body, then paying them would be enough. But they're more than a body. They have a heart, so they want to connect and to care and to love. They have a mind, they want to grow and develop. They have a spirit, they want to contribute and matter and have purpose. So inspiring can go so much farther than merely motivating. Now, how do I view leadership? Well, I believe that there is enough for everyone. That's an abundance mentality. So my job as a leader is to elevate caring above competing. Yes, let's compete in the marketplace, but let us care and collaborate in the workplace. I believe that that leadership is stewardship. It's about responsibility, not rights. So if I buy that belief, my job as a leader is to put service above self-interest. My personal mantra for this is always seek to bless, not to impress. And finally, I believe that enduring influence is created from the inside out, not outside in. So my job as a leader is to go first. Someone needs to go first. Leaders go first. Now look at these 5 fundamental beliefs together. This is a paradigm of how to view people, how to view leadership that's more complete and accurate. And friends, I've given you, it was in your epic bag of goodies and gifts that you got from Tugboat last night, a deck of cards that you can use that will give you these fundamental beliefs and other tools you can go deeper with these ideas if it appeals to you. But take a look at this. Would you pick one of these that you would like to work on and get better at as you walk out of our session today? By picking one, you don't ignore the other 4. But what if we could get better at just one? Now let me move from the beliefs, the paradigm, into the stewardships. These are stewardships, or jobs with the trust, responsibilities that we have as leaders. As we move from command and control to trust and inspire, there's 3 of them. They're simple, they're just not easy. We model, we trust, and we inspire. Modeling, trusting, inspiring. Modeling is who we are. Trusting is how we lead. Inspiring is connecting to why it matters. So take modeling. This is what starts first. This is our first stewardship. This is our credibility, our character, our competence, our influence. It's who we are. And the main point here is you model, you go first. Madeline talked about this. Go first, model. Be a model of the behavior you would like to see. Be a model of your values. Leaders go first. Someone does, you're the leader, you go first, you model. Second, trusting. This is how we lead. Consider this. You could have 2 trustworthy people working together, and yet no trust between them, even though they're both trustworthy, if neither person is willing to extend trust to the other, to give it. So if we want a high-trust team, a high-trust culture, if trust is the outcome that we want, yes, we have to be trustworthy. We earn that by demonstrating our character and our competence. But as leaders, we also need to be trusting, and we give that. And as I work all over the world, I find the bigger gaps in creating high-trust teams and cultures, especially with senior teams, is not that people aren't trustworthy. It's that we're not trusting enough. We're not giving that trust enough. We need to do both. It's a smart trust, but we got to be not only trustworthy, but trusting. Finally, inspiring. This is connecting to why. I think you do this so well. And the premise here is that, look, this is where leadership is going, towards inspiration. Inspiring others is the new competitive advantage. Here's a study from Bain. It shows this, that inspiration, and this is my words, inspiration is the new engagement, the next frontier. The study shows that employees who are inspired are 125% more productive than merely satisfied employees. Now, we might expect that because satisfaction is not a high bar, but look at this. And they're even 56% more productive than fully engaged employees. There is something even beyond engagement. It's inspiration. It's where leadership is going. Not only are they more productive, they are happier and they thrive. It increases their well-being. So this is vital. This is a new advantage, but also, here's the idea. Inspiring others is a learnable skill. Everyone can inspire. Too often we've conflated inspiration with charisma. Thinking to inspire, I got to be charismatic, and that's just not me. No, you don't have to be. They're different. Inspiring others is a learnable skill. Everyone can inspire. So if that's true, how do we inspire? Well, you think about it. You inspire when you model. That first stewardship will inspire your people. You inspire when you trust them. Trusting inspires others. And you will inspire when you connect with people and then connect to purpose. And again, you know this well. Connecting with people, it is all about caring and belonging. The caring, Dave called it love. The genuine care, the empathy, the compassion, demonstrating that you care. A sense of belonging gives you a sense of an identity that inspires. I love how Maya Angelou put it. She said, I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And they feel caring and belonging. And then you inspire by connecting to purpose, and no one does that better than you. As Evergreen Companies, this is your first P. And you can create and embed purpose, meaning, and contribution into almost any role, into almost any organization. And you know how to do this. Let's run with this. Friends, 3 stewardships. I invite you, would you pick one of these to work on, to get better at as we walk out of our session this morning? That doesn't mean you ignore the other 2, but start by getting better at just one of these. We'll become increasingly a better Trust and Inspire leader. Let me give you a final example of Trust and Inspire in action. So this is a Trust and Inspire person, leader, team, culture. This is Eric Weinmeier. Some of you may know of him. He describes himself this way. He says, I'm the blind guy who climbed Everest. Watch his story. It is Trust and Inspire in action.
Point on Earth. For a sighted person, climbing Mount Everest is one of the greatest physical challenges on the face of the Earth. Ever since I went blind, it's been a dream in the back of my mind to climb the world's tallest peak. I knew that only 10% of the people who try Everest make it to the top, and for every 6 people who summit, I've heard 1 dies. As a blind person, I knew I could never get to the summit of Everest alone. And what would get me to the top wasn't necessarily technology. What would get me to the summit were the people that I surrounded myself with. After that, I forced myself to sit in front of my tent and envision myself and my team on the top, to actually bleed myself forward. There's a 12,000-foot drop on this side, a 9,000-foot drop on the other side. At that point, I don't think it really matters which side you fall off of. Sometimes you have to rise to the occasion right now. You got to be good and execute right now, every step of the way.
We're on the top. I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
Good job. You did it, man. We're on top of the world. We are on top of the world.
I don't think I'm very different from anyone else. I think everyone has a yearning for greatness inside them. That ability to reach out into uncertainty, in a sense, I guess, to climb blind.
Here's how the filmmaker Michael Brown described that ascent. He said, what I find to be really intriguing about that milestone is that everybody on the team put aside their own self-serving need to get to the top, to get behind Eric's summit. Most of the time in Everest, it's every man or woman for himself saying, I want to be on top. They're more just concerned about, well, am I going to reach my goals? Our team had a loftier purpose to get behind Eric and make sure he was able to safely get to the top and back down. As a result of that, everybody on the team was able to get to the top. It was the greatest ascent in history, putting service above self-interest, and in the process, self-interest was served. My friends, we need this kind of leadership in our world today. Yes, we need it in organizations, in our teams, but we need it in our communities, in our neighborhoods, in our homes. This is a better way to lead. I'm looking at the kind of leaders, trust inspire leaders in this room and beyond that can provide this kind of leadership, not only to inspire those within our teams and organizations, but also to inspire in our neighborhoods, in our communities, and ultimately in the world. Thank you so much, my friends. What an honor to be with you today. Thank you very, very much.